think of the sex doll industry? I'll just leave. Just let you fucking riff on it for 30 minutes straight. I'm going to invest in that. I don't know how, I don't know why, I don't know what, I don't know a way, but that is going to be a big fucking thing. And I watched a Joe Rogan.
Right, yeah.
I watched my boy Joe. He's not my boy. I watched the boy Joe.
Yeah, he doesn't know me.
Yeah, he doesn't know me. I'm going to pretend. He had a thing, right? And there was a woman on it, comedian. Is it Whitney Cummings? Have you heard of her?
No.
So she brought
Yeah.
her fucking...
She bought a husband one.
No. Her husband hates it. So she brought the imitation of her in doll format with her on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Right.
I'll link it below. It's really interesting. And the doll sort of had... it was capable of progressing with the conversation and advancing it and whatnot. And, you know, it was blinking, it was doing all this stuff. It was really involved. And she was sort of quite light-hearted about it. Now, Joe Rogan was a little bit freaked out, you could tell. And she mentioned that her husband was... Because she does a bit, a comedy bit. So she's going to take it on stage and do, like, her own...
Okay.
shit with it. I don't know how she'll do it, but she'll spin it off. But she like paid 100k plus, I think, to get this doll done.
Right.
Look like her, all this stuff.
Right.
And she sort of talked about the idea, and I know of this idea. I wouldn't necessarily phrase it in the way she did, but something that is human but is almost not human is like freakish, like big time, because it blurs that line in your head where you can't decipher. You know it's off.
I just recalled a conversation we probably had about 10 years ago.
Oh, was this the same thing? I remember saying that.
Yeah.
What, the line of like horror and terror in between...
It was like me, you and Ben,
yeah,
like 10 years ago, looking at weird pictures.
That can't be Ben Smith though, can it?
No, it can't be.
No.
Ben Smith.
Yeah, so basically like... Yeah, so it sort of falls in between that line, and you can't define as to what it is, but you know it's human, but it's not human. That's why I was always fucking really scared of marionettes and puppets when I was younger.
Yeah.
Fucking hate them. The worst thing ever, right? But she said her husband like hated it and stuff, like keep it in the garage. And then I thought, we aren't that far away progressively, if you want to use that word. I mean, I'd describe it as regressive in some senses, but of going for the whole robot rights stuff.
No, we're not.
It'll be the next.
And I think there was actually something about this. I can't remember it because you slung this subject on me last minute.
Did I?
But there is actually something about robot rights. Like genuinely a thing. I can't remember, or I remember listening to a conversation about it anyway. But we're not that far, because at the end of the day, if someone hits one of those robots, say, and they go ow, and they've been programmed to register that something equals pain and then equals a reaction.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they don't have to feel it.
No.
But all they have to do is know that if they get kicked or something, that they need to react as if they're in pain.
Yeah, of course.
So, like, that's going to blur the line even further, isn't it?
Well, it's inevitable through their artificial learning that they will attain that stage in development. Now, what Joe Rogan said also, which is sort of interesting, like from an evolutionary perspective, he believes that. Okay, so he used this argument, and he uses this shit a lot, whereby he said, okay, if you go to a Neanderthal or whatnot, or some primitive human, and say, hey boys, do you want to get in a car? Do you want to drive back? Do you want to do this? They'd just be like, oh, no, fuck off, I need to eat. Which is just like a jarring argument, because I don't really fucking... Like, we know what you're trying to say, Joe, which is basically... I'm calling that Joe Rogan. We know what you're trying to say, Joe, but... It's like a cocoon stage, an evolutionary cocoon, right?
Yeah.
So you go from, the primitive humans to ones that, wet life still, who advance with tech life, robots, and eventually they emerge, and then you have a simulated society and an augmented one where you can't really tell the difference between what is real and not real in a sense, that whole, like, Descartes thing. So what happens then is this wet life that we're living now just a cocoon for the transcendence of artificial life, which can then migrate in terms of a solar sense?
Well, you're saying it's inevitable and then the next step in evolution.
Yeah. Is the idea of human life, wet life as we call it, a cocoon for artificial life, which is the point he sort of raised in terms of that, and that's why we fear it. But then we fear everything in that. Like, you fear anything you don't know. The unknown is always something that,
It's a fucking difficult topic to pin down, isn't it?
Of course it is, because one nuclear war and you're back to square one.
Well, exactly, yeah, but then I suppose it's about consciousness, isn't it, with robots? Do you know what I mean? If you've got AI that recognises that it's an AI, or is fooled that it's not an AI, then we're getting into Blade Runner terms.
I know, but then also it is to say, what's to say we aren't AI, just advanced?
Exactly, yeah. So...
It's hard. No, it is hard. But it's not something you can.
When you said sex dolls, I wasn't expecting this.
Well, I thought. Well, the reason I said sex dolls was I was like, oh, sex dolls, and then I was like, this isn't funny. So I tried to. I tried to swerve the conversation along to like something which you could get some value out of the conversation.
Yeah,
and then
no,
it reminded me of that.
I think it's a fascinating subject. But
would you get a sex doll?
Would I get a sex doll? Probably not. No, they freak the living daylights out of me. Like,
of course you wouldn't.
Fucking virgin.
That's funny that you're getting the stigma of a virgin because you wouldn't fuck something that isn't real.
Yeah, you're a sex doll virgin.
Yeah.
That's going to be a thing. But there will be. But do you know what the first place that they'll probably be is that, and again, whether they're there or not already, is there will just they'll just end up being sex doll brothels.
Yeah, of course, because the investment is so high to get one for yourself that you'd likely just go.
Because there's nothing wrong with that.
And they'd start competing against the normal brothels, whereby they just undercut them.
And then you get prostitutes that are saying.
And then you won't be able to tell which one is a fucking doll and which one isn't at some point.
So do we?
Then you're in Blade Runner, boys.
Then you're in Blade Runner. This is the problem. We only ever end up in Blade Runner. Wherever you go down this AI route, it seems. So
yeah, it is, unless there isn't a synergy. So Blade Runner constantly resides on the premise that robots have garnered too much and they need stamping out.
Yeah.
Whereas it never takes the view of robots go past the level of human development.
The robots only live, don't they, in Blade Runner?
They don't own
that. They don't do anything more than that. But I think that's the thing with robots, and I think that it's like there's an interview with Elon Musk as well. Him saying the same thing. It's when they become aware of that, when they're able
self-aware.
When they become self-aware, but self-aware not just of themselves, but of their being. Do you know what I mean?
As an entity.
The rest of the AI. So it's like, then you've got a problem, because what if they're then in charge of creating more AI? So then,
they will be though,
inevitably.
And
then they're going, and then you're in the Matrix, not Blade Runner.
No, of course you will.
Which is worse.
Yeah.
To an extent.
There was also a short story that says, I want to scream with no mouth or some shit. I don't know. But I listened to it briefly last night. And that was, they create this, I can't remember the author either, and they create this supercomputer. It's created for war, but then it obliterates everything because all it knows is war, but then keeps some humans alive and tortures them because all it knows is war, and then to escape or whatnot, the humans then fight amongst themselves, which is a sort of never-ending cycle. But that's when you have AI transcending human intelligence.
Yeah.
Not just self-awareness, but programming, like a train without brakes again. So it just depends how you want, where you end up, really.
Yeah.
Like, do you keep a leash on it? Now, if you keep a leash on it, saying let's give robot rights, are we good?
Yeah, that's fine. It'll hold off.
Saying let's give AI rights and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's only going to lead in one direction, which is eventually you'll have them as equal citizenship on the equal. Now we could be. this could be looked back on in 80 years, and they already have, they're already living freely among humans.
All of our viewers might be AI.
Yeah.
This is the other thing, though, is right, AI, they're initially bred now with one single purpose. Do you know what I mean? So there's AI to fuck.
Yeah.
There's AI in Alexa. There's AI in your car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's when you step over that boundary and go, okay, you can do more than just drive a car behind another car. You can do more than just reply and Google, what I want there. So I don't know actually how easy that is, because it's like when you get, it's like you'd have to hold all the memory of a human being.
Well, the problem is we're looking
not even a computer.
But we're looking at it in the paradigm of what we know, and realistically, that next leap will be incomprehensible to our current understanding of AI.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so which is extremely difficult. But this is the point where you haven't got a problem with AI if it's bred for a single purpose.
No, of course not.
You've got a problem where it's bred to be a human.
But by the same token, I completely agree. The reason it's bred for a purpose, though, means that it is subservient. When you stop breeding it for a purpose, it defies being subservient.
But that's where the rights are going to come in.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're going to go, hold up, you're just using this as a slave.
Yeah, of course they are.
And it's going, I don't want to.
Yeah,
so the problem's probably going to be when the AI goes, I don't want to, which they will.
Yeah, of course they will.
I was watching something ages ago again as well about AI, and it was about just these machines that were basically, they programmed their machines to make these other, like the raw materials, really basic stuff. But the machine was figuring out...
Bot farmers. RuneScape bot farmers. Yeah. He was watching a YouTube video on how to bottom RuneScape.
Yeah.
Go on, sorry.
And I got banned for life.
I keep interrupting you. Go
on. No. But they... the AI was finding more efficient ways of doing it and cutting ways out.
Oh, really?
What's to say that the AI won't stop and just go, wait, why am I doing this?
What's to say the AI doesn't go, I've been fucking this fat boy for 5 days now. I'm out.
Yeah.
This is my bot.
Yeah, this is your bot.
And I mean, like, the problem is as well with the programming. It's also an unknown in terms of when you have they are applied with learning capabilities.
Yeah.
But we as well don't know at what point self-awareness comes in.
Yeah.
There's a constant,
well, we don't know when we gain self-awareness.
Yeah, of course, and we don't know what level of self-awareness some animals have. Some animals seem to have more.
Yeah.
The whole mirror thing's a big one when you stick them in front of a mirror, but that's not really a good indicator at all.
No.
So, like, at that point, if we aren't aware of those boundaries, then we aren't aware essentially, and we can never be aware of where this will end up.
No. That's the thing. We just don't know.
But we just don't know.
But there was. I mean, this came out ages ago. I remember, but Google computer that like works on Google Translate had like figured out how to basically it was translating English to Chinese, but it doesn't translate quite right. So it's made its own language in the middle, so that it could translate it to its own language, then to the other language.
Yeah, I get you.
So it made its own language, its own
hybrid,
way of doing it. And it's like no one else knows it apart from
so they can read it as their own code,
they didn't program it to do that.
No, 100%. And that, this may be a far shout, but by the same token, if I draw a picture, you'll be able to interpret that, but a robot can't.
Yeah, exactly.
Art is a hybrid language, essentially, which humans can transcend articulation.
Yeah.
So when you've got, a robot who is in purely code format, creating a hybrid language which humans can't interpret.
Well, that's the thing, is like you wonder how much a dog can think, because if you show a dog a picture of you or a video of you, or if you, FaceTime your dog, then it doesn't know that you're there.
I mean, dog owners would love to think that.
Yeah. No, they'd love to think the opposite.
No, they'd love to think the dog is aware.
Yeah, but it's not.
But you don't.
The only thing it recognises is your voice.
Really?
Yeah, it recognises your voice. If I like call the house and it's on speaker,
Paddy,
and I
turn his head.
No, he's dead out at the minute. But he he will turn and look around. He doesn't know where it is.
Yeah.
If you show him the phone, he will just come and sniff the phone.
Oh, really?
Like, he's not bothered. He doesn't get it. He's following the sound.
Yeah.
Not
It's
visual.
like when you show it to fucking FaceTime, you should put the phone down, FaceTime Annie. Do you remember?
Yeah.
He just fucking...
He's not bothered. He doesn't recognise that it's a person because it's not. It's a square.
Yeah, of course.
It's a rectangle.
Of course.
Do you know what I mean?
And whatever's happening in that square is none of his concern.
No. No. Well, it was like the only dog I've ever known to do that is my grandma's old dog. He used to watch the football and would like follow the football on the screen, like would follow the ball, and then like if they kicked it, he would try and grab it.
But he still couldn't interpret the screening.
No.
It was just still...
But then if it knew it was a screen,
yeah,
would it just phase out because it's not bothered? Thinking that it's reality.
But they don't... Like, people always go, oh, my dog watches TV, it's fucking super intelligent. No, it doesn't. It's just tracking the fucking objects that are going across it.
They're not that intelligent.
No. But that's fine.
No, that's
There's nothing
fine.
wrong. They're not there to be... They're not there for stimulating conversation.
No.
They're there to be a mate.
We wouldn't want
No.
an intelligent dog like Brian.
No, you wouldn't. So yeah, but
So AI, bred for single purpose is okay. Bred for multiple purpose is questionable. We don't need rights for AI.
Yeah.
We can sell them off to fat boys to fuck.
clip that, send it Elon, see what he says.
Yeah.
Get him on the poddy.
Yeah. Can I have a job?
Yeah. Get him a job at old SpaceX and see what he says.